finally the video where I will tell you all about the Christmas books I read. Came this close to losing my mind. There is such a thing as too much holiday cheer. My name is Shalini, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. And I hope you enjoy your stay here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you are not new to my channel, then welcome back. Let's talk about the first book, which is The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. And I know you must have heard of this book quite a lot, especially around this time. This has been getting a lot of hype. If you love nights out, then this book I feel like is the perfect book for you. They're both two writers who gets invited to this English countryside. The person who invites them is a fan of these two. Our protagonists. Soon after, they realize that this person who invited them, the owner of this English mansion, is missing. Both of them team up to find out, and honestly, it's a really good blend, I would say, of both romance and mystery. And I would definitely say it is a really good choice, especially around this time of the year. I always want to read both romance and mystery. They both kind of exude coziness, but like in their own different ways. I would definitely recommend you pick this up. The next two books will be under 300 pages because I'm trying to also kind of help you out here if you want to read this to reach your reading goal. And it's The Naughty, the Nice, and the Nanny by Will and Ash. Honestly, this is no plot, just vibes. We have a single father, exactly what I would imagine the Netflix owner would be, because he literally owns a media company which is like Netflix or any other streaming company. So he has just, back in his hometown, he is just freshly separated or divorced. There's no cheating, by the way. So he's back. He with his daughter. I would have loved to see like some antics that his daughter does. So the mother wasn't really present, and also the dad was busy with work, and so she's basically starving for attention. I'm not a child psychiatrist, so that's what I like just saying in the context of the story. All the nannies that were put in charge of taking care of this child has like gone in the night. And then comes our book's protagonist, who actually knew this tech bro. They were in the same high school. So she was like the shy bookworm, and he was like the popular guy. And she's like, she used to have a crush on him. And I don't like this book would be, I didn't give it a reading, but if I would have to, it would be somewhere around 2 to 3 stars. The next book is Wedding Night. It's also at 273 pages. I enjoyed this much more than the previous book that I talked about. So this is about a rich heroine, and she is also, I believe, on the autism spectrum, and the dude is from the quote unquote wrong side of the tracks, and he needs revenge because of his mom or something, and that's why he basically goes to her and proposes a marriage of convenience. And this is one of those books you would read for the vibes, not for the plot. And this also has the insta love thing going on, but I I didn't mind it. I finally finished book number 11, Wallflower Christmas. I was reading a lot of contemporary romances and I just wanted a break. So I did not like it. I did not like it at all. I mean, I don't know, like the main character, Rafi Bellman, he is like the brother of some of the wallflowers in the series. And honestly, he's such a dick. Some of the stuff that he did, the FMC, felt like non consensual to me. Like, but I maybe I'm reading too much into it, or maybe I'm not. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it, but it was a nice change of pace. So next we have a really really short book. It would take you literally no time to finish this. Cruel Winter with You by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood's writing, most all of her stories are a little tropey, and like I find them tropey, and like I every time I read her books, I do eat it up because the heroes are the most down bad heroes. I do enjoy them. I can't lie. Like, I don't give a shit if it's predictable and it's like almost there are so many. I literally make a tally of how many times the word huge is mentioned. But I eat them up, and I eat this up as well. Not gonna lie. Even though the hero is another one of those tech bros that you would literally would not want to have a romance with in real life. Anyway, so we have this best friend's brother, and the forced proximity thing does come a little bit later in the story, and but it's like the total entirety is really short, so you won't notice. And there is a age gap between the two of them, so she is older than him, and that's basically it. It's a good blend of spicy, and I like the forced proximity trope, especially when it's snowing. It does something to my brain. The moment I went to a certain scene, I did not want to finish it, but I did because again, it's really, really short. It's all by Elf. We have these. They are both two university professors or something, and they both. I think this is where they lost me, and like 90% lost me. They did it in a hot dog van. I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. They did it in a hot dog van, and I didn't feel their chemistry. That's all I'm going to say about this book. So let's just move on to the next book, which is another. Uh, uh, the entire three is part of a series, and they're all again for Christmas, short and spicy, kind of spicy. So we have The One Night Stand Before Christmas by Jana Aston, and it's okay, it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. She needs to hire a Santa. She asked her colleague's brother to, show up as a Santa. And her colleague's brother needs a job. So, but when she was waiting for the Santa, that is her colleague's brother, to arrive, like she mistook someone else as her colleague's brother, and she put him in a Santa suit, and I guess they had chemistry, so they did the thing. The next morning, her colleague apologizes, like, "I'm really sorry, my brother didn't show up. Like, he's a piece of shit and everything." And she's like, "What are you talking about? He did show up. He was a Santa. He did his job." And she was like, "No, here's the Instagram." Her colleague shows her the Instagram photos of him, like somewhere. Uh, you know and she's like, "Who the fuck was that then? Who the hell played Santa?" That's a mistaken identity kind of um, a book that is kind of funny and also spicy. And yeah, how Christmassy can you get than going to bed with Santa? Next book would be book number 2 in the same series. In fact, they're all sisters. Okay, the female main characters in these 3 books. So the one night stand one was the eldest sister, and this book that I'm going to talk about is If You Give a Jerk a Gingerbread, is the youngest sister. And so we have a eating competition. This dude is from somewhere in England, I think. And yeah, so he when he comes to her bakery shop, is it called a bakery, I think. And she first thinks that he's like a judge, and but then later she finds out he's not a judge. Instead, he's a competitor. And they fall in love, and that's literally it. Next would be the story about the middle sister. And oh, one more thing I don't think I mentioned, no, I didn't mention, is that all 3 sisters are named after Christmas things. So first, the one night stand one was named Noel. And the If You Give a Jerk a Gingerbread, the heroine was named Ginger, I believe. And this book that I'm going to talk about, The Boss Who Stole Christmas, the heroine is named Holly. The Boss Who Stole Christmas is the boss is like a Grinch kind of a character. And yeah, so she kind of thinks he's hot, but for a multitude of reasons, can't do anything about it. So the company is like a toy company, and for Christmas they have to go to Svalbard. Is it in Germany? Somewhere in Germany. So they have to go somewhere in Germany, and there they kind of do the thing. Then they come back to their hometown, and they kind of have this little tiff, and after that everything gets solved. The rest of it is like, do I even call it a plot? So these are great if you want to read something short and yeah, Christmassy. Okay, so the next book, I'm actually not going to number it because I ended up reading a lot more than I told myself I would read. If you watched my short books video, I had this plan, I don't know why, of doing like a Christmas advent calendar thing. But then I realized I wouldn't be able to commit to reading so much. So I decided I would read 12, but I read a lot more than 12. So the next book I'm going to talk about is another short book. It's Chilled and Thrilled by Cleo White. This would be for those people who don't mind reading age gaps. And also, okay, so she is, no, he is the dad of her best friend. There's the stranded during Christmas. She doesn't realize it. He has a crush on her, but obviously there are like a multitude of reasons besides like a age gap thing, because he is her best friend's dad. So, but eventually they say it and do the thing. So there's a lot of do the thing. And there's also another uh, look. I don't mind like these kind of sharing things, but in those books where I know that it is going to happen, but it kind of felt weird in this book. So the hero's friend and the hero previously shared a woman, and here the hero's friend shows an interest to share, but the hero goes, "No, I'm not sharing this one." So they it could have been oh wait, they do kind of uh do the thing in front of the friend. So exhibitionism, kind of check. If that's your thing, then yeah, something I wanted to mention. Anyway, moving on to the next book, which is Gifted to His Dad. Do not analyze anything. These are just recommendations I got while I was browsing. This book is basically, in Christmas, we like there's gift giving. It This is kind of like a gift giving, but keeping it in the family. I actually turned off my brain cells. I don't know. So the we have a step situation here. So the one of the heroes is a stepson. So we have his stepdad, and then we have the stepson's girlfriend. So the stepson brings his girlfriend to his home for Christmas, and like, yeah, then like they all three of them do the thing. That's it. Let's move on to the next book, which is The Christmas One Night Stand by L. Steele. I actually didn't realize that this book was part of a series. I didn't really have any trouble. The previous characters in the series, they do make appearances, but definitely you can read this as a standalone. So it is about the hero is someone who is a politician and is going to be campaigning to become UK's prime minister, and the heroine is this. What was the name of the character that Carrie Washington played on Scandal? She's like a fixer. A Yeah, she is also, I think, of South Asian heritage. They hate each other, or they give off the vibes that they hate each other, but they really don't. They both have this um, you know the career thing. Like he wants to become a prime minister, and obviously anything that would jeopardize that career change, he doesn't want that to happen. He's ambitious, and so is she, and she also has this thing in the past that she is still traumatized by. So there's that. So their parents kind of trapped them in this cabin, and so outside we have a snowstorm going on, and that's when they do the thing. I actually enjoyed reading this book. I also want to read the previous books in the series. The next book that I want to talk about is Snowed In by Catherine Walsh. I read both the books, Snowed In and Holiday Bromance. So we both of the books feature Irish protagonists. I'm just going to talk about Snowden in this video. Snowden is about, again, two characters going back home for Christmas. We have Christian, I think that's his name. Yes, so Christian is like this bad boy dude. He's fine with that, but whenever he goes back home, everyone is like, asking him, "Do you have a girlfriend?" And he's just fed up of this. And Megan she's like the opposite. She's like the village pariah, and because she did a runaway bride thing. She left the golden boy of the village. Like this dude, the one she left, is engaged again, and that's why she is dreading, because obviously. So when Megan, that's our heroine, she suggests to Christian that how about we both, fake date, and just for Christmas, and then we can, like, when we are back in the city, obviously, we can all go our own way. So Christian agrees, obviously. So both of them have this, you know, something to gain from this faking a relationship. So again, in this book, you have the snowed in situation. Two people who are opposites, and oh, did I mention fake dating? So you have all of these in this book. Overall, this is a good. I liked reading the holiday romance more than this, but I didn't mind reading it. So I think most people would end up enjoying it. Also, a nice change of locale. It's set in Ireland, so something to think about. Have you watched the film Barbarian, where the what's the name of the actor? Bill Skarsgård, and I forgot the name of the actress. So anyway, in the movie Barbarian, so when the trailers were coming out, when the everyone, and I don't know, I think I saw a tweet about this would make a good romance plot. I think that's basically it. So our heroine is like literally in the trenches, but she is this, sunshine type of character. She loves Christmas, and but like I said, she is broke as hell. Someone suggests to turn her apartment into this sort of an Airbnb situation, and but she doesn't get any bookings, or so she thinks. Um, and then again, we have the hero, who is sort of this, he's doing great. He has got really good money coming in. He's like a very business ish savvy kind of a character. And yeah, the complete opposite of Noel. So he's in the Airbnb. So there's this mix up situation going on. And another book, quite a lot of books about forced proximity, but I didn't mind it. It was so good. I ate it up. This hero is also eventually becomes like a down bad kind of a hero, and I was obsessed. I'm not going to lie. And this book also has all of the Christmas vibes that I was looking for. It was so good. In the middle of it, I was feeling Hallmark. It was getting a bit too cheesy for me, but it was only because I literally read way too many Christmas books. But I think I would definitely recommend this to anyone who loves reading romance books. And it's also like 200 something pages, so perfect if you want to catch up on your reading this year. So the next book that I want to talk about is The Perfect Gift by Cleo Evans. This is again a really short book. We have a neurosurgeon and a lawyer heroine. I think she's a lawyer, so they are on their holidays, and they go to this cabin, lodge, whatever, up in the mountains. But the husband is like, they're not doing the thing. And so she's frustrated, and suddenly we have this snowstorm. But there is a twist on the forced proximity here. So we have these two lumberjacks who come to the cabin in the guise of seeking shelter, and we have a threesome situation going on at one point, and then becomes foursome. So yeah, it's a very steamy, not very okay, very. It depends on your preferences. It kind of lost steam towards the end. So kind of like around the 80 or 75% ish mark, it just I felt like, oh, okay, can I be done with this book now? So yeah, that's all there is to it. There's literally no plot, just vibes here. So if you like reading those sort of a books, then definitely go ahead and pick it up. Just got back home, and honestly, I am pretty wiped. I just want to share some books that I got. So, Heavenly Bodies by Imani Eriu. And I ordered myself a, not this, I ordered myself a copy of White Nights by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I also got a copy of The Rainfall Market. So these are the three books that I got. Actually watched a movie last night instead of reading The Sound of Music. It's a great movie, I think, in my opinion, to watch during Christmas. Overall, the tone is lighthearted, and like whatever darkness there is, especially in the end, it doesn't really take you out of the whole spirit of the movie. So yeah, I think everyone should watch it. The next book has the wildest first line I have seen. I was actually drinking water, multitasking, and should not have been drinking water because I almost choked. I hope it focused because literally what happened to hi, hello. So, one more gift is, I guess the title is appropriate in a way. We have the heroine is like on her way to get divorced from her husband, and she has like already moved on with her husband's friend. And so I think they're at this house which is now owned by her. She and her husband's friend, like her current boo, are kind of getting it on, and her husband suddenly arrives and she's shocked, like, what are you doing here? You were supposed to be in Italy. And he's like, oh, what was I supposed to be in Italy? So he kind of gate crashes their Christmas staycation, and like pretty soon three of them get it on. And yeah, so the spoiler, in the end, they kind of had this swinger situation going on because the husband also meets someone, and that someone has no problem sharing. I don't know if I would call it a swinger situation, more like a polyamorous situation going on. So that's it. Again, less of a plot and more steamy vibes with this. So if you want something quick and spicy, then definitely go for it. This would be the last of my update. Christmas Miracle. I just got home and got some book mail. And this is a special edition that I got from the publisher. And so thankful I got this. But I'm a little sad that it didn't arrive in a good condition. It is The Palace of Illusions by Chitra Banerjee Divakaruni. It has these gold sprayed edges. I also got this, which is the Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. And I thought this was supposed to be out next month in January, but either I'm totally wrong about the release date or the publisher got early copies. So let's move on to Christmas books. Can't believe I had to do this again. Fuck my life. Okay, so I read Can I Tell You Something, which is by the author of One More Gift. So the hero is a erotica podcast narrator, something like that, and the heroine is a fan of his. So when the heroine's family is on Christmas, like at the Alps, they are having this stay during Christmas, and her brother brings over his friend. And initially, she's like, "Who's that?" And after, I think, hearing his voice, she recognizes him as her favorite podcast narrator. And initially, she is from shock. She is like in disbelief. And then she remembers all sorts of DMs that she sent him on Insta about how erotic his voice is. And so that's kind of what I didn't like. That's weird behavior, but apparently the hero does not mind. So yeah, she kind of gives him ski lessons, and eventually they do the thing. And but there is another problem, which is that he lives in LA like her brother, and she lives in London. So they both he like basically tells her that, hey, his business, which is the podcast thingy, it's doing well, and I can literally do it from anywhere. He's like a Hollywood sound technician. Like the podcast thing is another part-time job, but it's doing well and he can do it from anywhere. But they apparently don't do that because like in this economy you would be mad to leave like a stable job. So obviously, thank God they don't do it. Yeah, short, spicy, Christmassy, set in the Alps. If that sounds like your thing, then go read it. I read another book which has big dating. It's called My Favorite Holidate by Lauren Blakely. I it was mid. The hero and heroine. I don't remember what was the motivation behind the fake dating thing. For the hero, but for the heroine, she is invited to a wedding where her ex is going to be there. So that's why she's kind of into this. And after they get to the wedding, get together, and I think it was longer than it had to be. It could have been edited to like, it could have been way shorter. It was fine, nothing to write home about. If you have read any of the books I mentioned, or if you have any plans to read Christmas books, or have already started reading any Christmas books, then let me know in the comments. If you think I was totally crazy for reading so many Christmas books for a video, let me know. Or maybe not. Just comment anything. Literally, a Christmas emoji would do. Other than that, I will see you in my next video, my last video. If I don't, then I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And please subscribe.